Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to News 3 Now, live at 5 on this Monday. Hope you all... What did I say?
Live at 5.
Oh,
we always say that. Yeah.
Monday.
It is Monday. Do you have a good weekend?
Yeah, went up to see my mother. And...
Oh, that's nice for Mother's Day.
No, for Easter.
Oh, for Easter. Excuse me. Mother's Day isn't here yet. For Easter, right. Yeah.
And it's live at 4.
It is Monday. It is totally Monday.
Hope you all had a good holiday weekend.
Felt like summer, wasn't it nice?
Easter or Passover?
Yeah, everybody was outside. And nice to see the neighbors and the dogs and the strollers.
Like, oh, you survived winter. Good to see.
Yeah, it felt really good.
It did. And maybe some storms on the way, but we'll get to that in a minute. But first, here's what's making news on this Monday. Some people living in flooded areas along the Wisconsin River are still waiting to go home. Madeline O'Neill has the latest from Portage.
On this Earth Day, Dane County unveils a program to help farmers prevent erosion and flooding. And a state of emergency is declared in Sri Lanka. One of the Americans killed in the terrorist bombings there is a Wisconsin native. Let's take a look outside today. A little bit of rain, just a handful of drops, enough to ruin your car wash,
That's right,
Mark?
Absolutely, just enough to spot the windshield. But more's on the way. Ready for rain. Dana's in the backyard and maybe some stronger storms.
There is the potential for that later on this evening, yes. Right now, everything's over towards Iowa. As you can see, looking at our Doppler track, we have storms to the north and to the west. They're starting to creep right into the western edge of the state. Madison, right now, we do have sun in the sky, a few clouds, no raindrops currently, but they are on the way for us, and we will be dealing with some showers and a few stronger thunderstorms possible for us throughout the rest of the evening. We'll start to dry up slowly overnight. Again, those storms starting to enter into Grant County right now. The main threat with these, some heavy rain at times, also some stronger wind gusts. It is currently 76 in Madison, 81 in Janesville. Really a nice afternoon for us temperature-wise. The cooler air, though, will be arriving by tomorrow. Notice the western half of Iowa quite a bit cooler than the eastern half. There's a cold front just dividing the state right now. That cold front is going to pass over us later this evening, so we are expecting temperatures tomorrow to be a little cooler. Our dew points have steadily been creeping on up. We're at about 53 degrees in Madison. That's about a 12-degree jump in the last 24 hours. Not bringing much of a severe potential. Our dew points are actually staying a little lower than we were initially forecasting for, so it's a good thing they're in the 50s right now, but you'll certainly notice it does feel just a little muggier. Not too bad, just a little bit more than usual. 70 degrees by 6 o'clock, 63 by 8. Of course, our temps falling overnight after the sun sets. It won't be falling too much, though, overnight. It won't be too chilly to start off the day tomorrow. And as we look ahead to tomorrow and Wednesday, temps will be just a little cooler behind that cold front, but still very seasonal outside for us. We'll look ahead of the whole week in just a few minutes. Right now on the roads, the first alert traffic update. Things actually aren't looking too bad for us right now. 39 and 90 right at 94. Overall, traffic seems to be rolling along fairly smoothly. Along the Beltline, east and westbound, we aren't seeing any major delays at this time. Looking through Verona and towards Mount Horeb, a few stop-and-go spots downtown as more folks get onto the roads. No major delays or accidents. And near Janesville, you should have smooth travel. It's all the way from 39 down through the state line, or 90. 27 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 from Sauk City to Middleton, eastbound and southbound from Sun Prairie to downtown, right at 16 minutes for you this evening. Your commute later on, if you do have to stay in the office for another hour or so, might be a little longer. Those in Platteville, the rain's starting to creep in right now, but do know if you're happy on the roads currently, things should be okay.
All right. See you in a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
First at 4, officials are monitoring the levee system along the Wisconsin River after increased erosion at a levee in Portage prompted the Columbia County Sheriff's Office to enforce evacuations along Levee Road. Our Madeline
O'Neill is live in Portage with an update on when people can go home and when the river is expected to go down. Maddie?
Susan and Mark, the Wisconsin River here is still really high, but at about 19.5 feet. It's down from yesterday when it crested at about 20 feet. The DNR is still watching the river 24/7, keeping an eye on the levees, making sure those aren't weakening at all. Now, those levee systems are made up of sand berms built several decades ago. An 8-mile stretch of Levee Road is still closed between Highway 33 to Sauk County, and about 30 households along it have been evacuated. That's because last night officials noticed water seepage from the Caledonia levee. They can't say yet when evacuees can go home.
It's a day-to-day thing. It fluctuates. We thought we were kind of in the clear last night, but then things changed again. So it's a very dynamic process, which makes it very challenging, both for us as emergency responders as well as for the public.
Officials say anyone living on the river should be prepared for evacuations at any time, but DNR wardens believe the river will go down today up to half a foot. And it is still dry here, but the DNR is keeping a close eye on predicted rain, although that likely wouldn't raise the river up as much as the big snowmelt from the north did the past couple of days. Now, coming up at 5, we'll hear from residents fighting the flooding who say this water is about as high as they've seen it. Susan and Mark.
All right, Madeline O'Neill reporting live from Portage. Thank you.
Today is Earth Day, a day founded by the late Wisconsin Senator Gaylord Nelson. It's a day devoted to protecting the environment. On this 49th Earth Day, people around the globe are pitching in to plant flowers, clean up trash, and inspire change.
We're having fun planting, spreading mulch, picking up little trash, and just enjoying nature.
In 1970, Earth Day began when Americans took to the streets demanding environmental reform, fighting against oil spills and polluting factories. A lot has changed since then. Some cities have banned plastic bags and straws, and colleges banned balloon releases. To mark Earth Day, Dane County unveils a new program to protect rural areas by helping small farms and reducing runoff from heavy rains.
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi announced the program today. Eric Franke is in the studio to tell us more about it. Eric?
Mark and Susan, the Continuous Coverage Program, that's what it's called. This will incentivize farmers to convert land used for annual row crops, such as corn, into land planted with perennial grasses, ensuring the soil isn't left bare. Visiting a farm which will host the pilot program, County Executive Parisi says the grasses will reduce that runoff from heavy rains to reduce the flooding concerns. Farmer James Amera, who is transitioning some of his land into managed grazing land with that perennial grass cover, says he'll be able to lower his costs and reduce erosion.
So we're real excited to look for partners like James and his family and others across the county as we continue to help work with our family farms to help preserve our family farms as well as help protect our water resources.
$750,000 were included in the county's 2019 budget to fund the program, which is estimated to cover the cost of protecting about 300 acres here. Now, Dane County will be taking applications from interested landowners until May 31st, and we have details on our website, channel3000.com. Mark and Susan, you're welcome.
A Southwest Health ambulance carrying a patient rolled over this afternoon near Ridgeway. It happened on Highway 18151. A paramedic on board the ambulance was injured. The original patient was picked up by a Barneveld rescue unit and continued onto a Madison hospital. And we have received official word today that a Columbus man who was injured in a construction accident in Madison last Wednesday died that same day. The Dane County Medical Examiner says 24-year-old Alexander J. Knus died shortly after he fell at a residential building site at Delorado Avenue. That's on the city's east side. He was found with multiple injuries and barely breathing. There were no witnesses to the fall.
The country of Sri Lanka has declared a state of emergency following a series of terrorist attacks that killed nearly 300 people on Easter Sunday, including 4 Americans. The country, already overwhelmed with grief, was shaken by another blast this morning. A van exploded as police tried to defuse a bomb. No one was killed in that incident, but Sri Lanka remains on edge. Authorities blame a local Islamist extremist group for the attacks, but believe the group had help from an international terrorist organization.
This is a very sad moment. This is a very cowardly attack. And it's not just an attack, it's a very gruesome attack on humanity.
One of the victims is a UW-Madison graduate working for an international education company. 40-year-old Dieter Kowalski was originally from Milwaukee and was living in Denver. He graduated from the UW in 2001.
A strong earthquake rocked the capital city of Manila in the Philippines today. The U.S. Geological Survey said the magnitude 6.3 quake struck on Luzon Island, that's northwest of the capital. 3 people were killed and thousands were forced to flee homes and businesses. The earthquake trapped people in collapsed buildings and damaged an airport terminal. Power was knocked out in at least one province. And in Turkey, cameras captured a 4-story building collapsing in Istanbul. The city's governor said the building had been emptied hours before it crashed into a hillside. It was caused by the collapse of a load-bearing wall on an adjacent property. 10 other buildings in the area were also evacuated.
Law enforcement in Indiana have released a new sketch and new cell phone video of a suspect wanted in the killings of 2 teenage girls. Indiana State Police are now offering a better look at the man suspected of murdering a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old. New video shows the suspect crossing a bridge right before police say he killed Libby German and Abby Williams. Police say the cell phone video was taken by one of the 2 girls moments before they were killed. Their bodies were found in the woods near Delphi, which is about an hour and a half north of Indianapolis.
To the killer, who may be in this room, we believe you are hiding in plain sight.
The girls went missing 2 years ago when they went hiking during a day off of school. Police have not said how the teenage girls were killed. The autopsy report has been sealed.
House Democrats are meeting today to figure out the next steps after the release of the Mueller report. President Trump says he, quote, is not even a little bit concerned about the prospect of impeachment. Democrats declined an invitation from the Attorney General to see a less redacted version of the Mueller report, though some Republicans are now getting their first look.
To not come here and take advantage of the Attorney General and his offer, to me, says that they're not more worried about what's in the report. They're more worried about actually scoring political points.
We cannot be an America that says it is okay for a president of the United States to try to block investigations. So I have called on the House to initiate impeachment proceedings.
Meanwhile, the president is also suing the head of the House Oversight Committee to block a subpoena of his financial records. Chairman Elijah Cummings responded in a statement saying, quote, the president has a long history of trying to use baseless lawsuits to attack his adversaries, but there is simply no valid legal basis to interfere with this duly authorized subpoena from Congress.
Still to come today at 4, Children's Theater of Madison is preparing for a sensory-friendly performance of Willy Wonka.
We'll find out what that is and why it's so important when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump says Herman Cain has withdrawn from consideration for a seat on the Federal Reserve's board.
Cain is a former CEO of Godfather's Pizza, who you may recall dropped out of the 2012 presidential race amid allegations of sexual harassment and infidelity. The issues resurfaced after President Trump said he intended to nominate Cain to the central bank's board of governors. President Trump tweeted Monday that my friend Herman Cain, a truly wonderful man, has asked me not to nominate him for a seat on the Federal Reserve Board, and I will respect his wishes. The president added that Herman is a great American who truly loves our country. Trump has also nominated conservative ally Stephen Moore for a separate vacancy on the Fed's 7-member board.
Stocks ended mixed as earnings season rolls along. The Dow Industrials fell 48 points, closing at 26,511. The Nasdaq Composite Index added 17, and the S&P 500 gained nearly 3. Well, Children's Theater of Madison is bringing a sensory-friendly performance of the classic story Willy Wonka to the Overture Center on May 5th.
A sensory-friendly performance adjusts lights and sounds to be less intense for children who are sensitive to them, and the goal is to create a supportive environment where all families can enjoy theater together. Megwin Sanders-Andres from CTM is here, along with Jim Lean. Pleva?
Yes.
Is that right? Jim Lean, nice to see you.
Thanks for coming out today.
And her child, she has a child with some sensory issues, and you attend sensory-friendly shows. Is that right?
That is correct. My son Sam is 13 years old, and he has autism, and we've been to several of the shows.
And it makes a big difference.
Huge difference. It's a judgment-free zone where he can just be himself, regulate his body the way he needs to, and not disrupt others because we're all in it together.
It's a wonderful, inclusive opportunity. And Megwin, who are the sensory-friendly performances geared toward?
They're geared towards all children with special needs. Most of our audience are children with autism and children with sensory processing disorders. But again, one of the things that we do is that anyone is welcome to contact me, and we would be happy to work with you to create an individualized plan for your child to come and see a show.
Oh, how is this show different than a regular one?
The experience extends before the show, during the show, and after the show. So we open the lobby early, and we have an activity area in the lobby with these wonderful sensory bins, with a trampoline, with a tunnel, so that kiddos who need to regulate can do so that way. We also have a quiet space, so that kiddos who need a quiet area can go there. We have sensory kits for inside the theater. We also have specially trained volunteers for ushers. And then after the show, we do a meet and greet with the actors.
So the lights aren't as bright, the sound's not as loud?
That's correct. We have some experts who come in and watch the invited dress rehearsal to give us notes on what might be a trigger for a kiddo with sensory processing disorders. And then we make adjustments from there. So as you say, some sounds become more muted. We might cut things like strobe lights, or if there's going to be something that's a little bit bigger that's necessary for the performance, we'll work in some ways to foreshadow it so that kiddos won't be taken aback when it happens.
Interesting.
What is an experience like this for a parent? I mean, it must just be a wonderful opportunity. Would your son be able to sit through a traditional show?
No, and he can't sit through a sensory-friendly show either, but it's okay if he gets up and jumps at a sensory-friendly show. He can bring food into the show, which keeps him seated longer and more engaged. He can bring fidgets provided by Achieving Collaborative Treatment, the company that helps with all of the sensory toys.
And CI pediatric therapies as well.
Yes, so there's many accommodations. Any accommodation that a child needs, it's there and it's provided.
What's his reaction to the show?
Sometimes he laughs inappropriately. Sometimes he laughs appropriately. He'll sing loudly if he knows the song. So it's not always what you would expect out of a general audience, and it's comfortable because children can be children there.
And what does it mean to you as a parent to be able to do something like this?
The fact that he can be exposed to the arts and experience it like every other child is very important to not just me, but my entire family. My daughter is involved in CTM and also other theaters in the community, and Sam wants to be able to go to her shows. So this is perfect training for being part of a general audience, and the repetition and being able to go to these shows, and that repetition and that experience is setting him up for success.
And Willy Wonka's perfect.
It's a perfect show for it. Yeah.
This is actually our 10th sensory-friendly performance, so we're very excited to have that. It was started by Erica Berman in 2014, so again, our 10th this time. And we had one family say that it really redefined what they could do as a family. To have, rather than them having to adjust to the experience made accommodations for them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Very true.
Wonderful opportunity. Thank you for being with us today.
Great to see both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The sensory-friendly performance of Willy Wonka is Sunday, May 5th, 11 a.m. at the Overture Center. For tickets and information, go to ctmtheater.org.
When we come back, there's more to come at 4 for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Their baby should arrive any day now.
And after that, a move to Africa might be in their future. We'll have more on that coming up after Dana's forecast. Take a look at this. These two cousins are taking the Choco Challenge. That's where you eat a chocolate bar infused with Black Reaper pepper. Willie's in shock after eating the chocolate. In terrible pain. It's at that moment that his cousin's wife whispers in his ear that she's pregnant. His cousin Maurice is also struggling with the Choco Challenge. The whole thing was his idea, but admitted afterwards it probably wasn't the best plan after all. So you buy these chocolate in the mail.
Oh, okay,
and,
so it's a thing.
and you record this, and then there's a contest, but for every box you get, they donate $5 to prostate cancer research.
Very cool.
There's all kinds of videos on YouTube, and they all have this
Mom.
reaction.
There's Mom.
Oh, I would rather just donate my money.
Oh, it looks in pain.
Yes, yes. Like violent pain, awful pain.
And I hate hot peppers.
You can't do it. Can't do it. Do you do hot?
Oh, yeah, I love spicy stuff. It kind of makes me want to try it. Doesn't it? No?
Look at those guys. You see
I know,
them?
but that's what makes it so intriguing. You think, okay,
well, we can try it.
Yeah.
We're gonna tape it.
I'll do it because I want to see you handle it.
I'm gonna order it and we're gonna tape it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You heard it. All right. So maybe some severe weather.
Yes. A small chance for some stronger thunderstorms for us right now. And not a great chance for us this evening, but wouldn't be surprised if we see some wind gusts or maybe even a few spots that get a little hail, at least over the next few hours. The storms right now are in Iowa, but they are just knocking on the door. Take a look at that future track right after the break. So overall, today hasn't been too bad outside. Yesterday actually was, of course, even more mild for us. If you missed the memo, we officially hit 80 degrees yesterday. On April 21st, we haven't been at 80 since October. October 9th was the last day that we were over 80 degrees. Really just a little bit ahead of schedule so far this year. We hit 50 a little early, 60 a little early, and 80 a little early. Our average first day over 80 is May 5th. Of course, the end of April is not too far off, but just a little early for us. Overall today, our temperatures have been in the upper 70s for our afternoon highs. Now we're starting to see our temps back off a little bit, so that's likely going to be our actual high. So still well above average this afternoon, even though it was not quite as mild outside for us. When we started the day in the mid-50s for overnight lows. So again, it really felt more like the middle of May rather than the middle of April. Overall, we started off the day with some sun, and now we have the clouds really building on in for us. Most of the cloud coverage still off to the west, but we will slowly become mostly cloudy. This is all in front of our next system that's going to drive some stronger thunderstorms and scattered showers throughout the southern portion of the state. Right now, the heaviest rainfall is right outside of Grant County, but we are starting to see some showers move into the edge of Iowa and even into Sauk counties for us. Right now in Dane County, we just have clouds in the sky, but the rain, again, slowly creeping on in. This is all as an area of low pressure continues to track northeast. It's driving these showers right on through, as well as a trailing cold front. That cold front is going to pass over us throughout the evening and overnight. And it's going to bring some cooler air as we get into your Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures will be just a little closer to average for afternoon highs for Tuesday and Wednesday. Not a huge drop. We just won't be in the 70s and 80s anymore after the cold front passes. So through the next several hours, do plan on scattered showers, moments of heavier rain, and maybe even seeing a few stronger wind gusts, not ruling out the chance for some isolated hail. Our severe potential isn't great with this system, but still not ruling out the chance for some strong thunderstorms up until about midnight. After midnight, we may have a few lingering showers, but by tomorrow morning, we have some clouds and then skies become mostly sunny in the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the low 60s for your Tuesday, mostly sunny skies throughout the end of the day. Really should be a pleasant Tuesday afternoon and evening. Wednesday, we start off nice and clear. Temps will be in the upper 30s for overnight lows. And then in the afternoon, we'll be climbing to the mid to upper 60s for afternoon highs with sunshine. Wind gusts could pick up just a little bit later on. Again, that's associated with that front sliding on through. Could be a little gusty at times, a little windy at times. So just know in those isolated areas where we're watching some stronger rainfall, we may see some stronger wind gusts. Marginal risk for severe weather. The threat, of course, the isolated heavy rain. Maybe seeing some hail spots for us, but not a great chance for us overnight. Overnight lows will fall to the upper 40s. We'll be at about 47 to start off the day tomorrow with a mostly cloudy sky. We're looking at mild weather early in the day, and scattered showers expected for us up until about midnight. Tomorrow, we're going to become mostly sunny, expecting cooler air to arrive, but still pretty seasonal outside. 61 the high for your Tuesday. Our breeze tomorrow will be coming from the north, so it is cooler air behind that low pressure circling in. We're looking at that breeze anywhere from 8 to 15 miles per hour throughout the day. So a breeze that you'll notice, but not as gusty as what we'll have through the rest of the evening. So in the low 60s for Tuesday, in the upper 60s for Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday has a lot of sunshine. Thursday, though, we have variably cloudy skies and another chance for rain. A short, little quick cold front is going to slide through on Thursday, bringing a chance for showers, especially in the afternoon. Behind that front, we see another little drop in our temperatures for Friday. We'll be back closer to the mid 60s for afternoon highs with sunshine. Saturday, the chance for showers will return for us. It'll be fairly quick moving for us on Saturday. It'll bring us some more sun heading into your Sunday. Temperature-wise, though, we aren't going to drop again for a little bit of time. So that's nice news that temps are going to hold pretty steady. On the flip side, we're not going to warm up to 80 again for a little bit.
Yeah, a little early for 80.
A little early for 80 again. May 5th is our average first day at 80, so April 21st is a little ahead of schedule.
It felt great, though, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, it was so nice. So many people outside yesterday. The park's packed.
Keep an eye on things tonight, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Well, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle await the birth of their first child. There's talk that the family could be planning a move to Africa.
If that happens, their royal duties would involve charity work and promoting Britain. MTR's Tyab reports from outside Buckingham Palace.
Easter service at St. George's Chapel on Sunday. A tradition for the royal family, and for Prince Harry, one of his last engagements before he becomes a dad. His pregnant wife Meghan sat out the service, but earlier in the day, the Sunday Times newspaper reported the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not only gearing up to become new parents, but very possibly for another new role, this time in Africa. Roy Anika co-wrote the article for the Sunday Times.
There's no doubt that Harry and Meghan, I think, want a bit of freedom from the UK. They want a little bit of freedom from the institution.
Harry and Meghan already have a special connection to the continent.
I managed to persuade her to come and join me in Botswana, and we camped out with each other under the stars.
One of the diamonds in Meghan's engagement ring is from Botswana. In 2017, Harry told Town & Country magazine, "This is where I feel more like myself than anywhere else in the world."
When Princess Elizabeth was newlywed, she and Prince Philip spent long periods of time between 1949 and 1951 in Malta. The Queen has spoken about that as being among the happiest years of her life. Harry and Meghan's move abroad is being described by courtiers as giving them the chance of their Malta moment.
CBS News has reached out to the palace to find out a little bit more about this story. They're not saying much, however, they are saying that the Duke and Duchess are really thinking about their future, a future which could involve a move abroad, but that right now the royal couple are focusing on the birth of their first child. Imtiaz Taib, CBS News, London.
And the royal baby due any day now.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what the official due date is, but they just keep saying any moment.
And we don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
That's right.
We'll find out. Well, the march of measles continues, reaching levels not seen in 2 decades.
We'll have the latest on what's being done to stop the spread when Live at 4 continues.
Here's a live look at Langdon Street from our Edgewater Skycam. Nobody's out.
It must not be class change
All
yet.
studying, I guess,
Yeah.
apparently. Well, measles cases are approaching numbers in the United States that we haven't seen in 20 years.
More than 70 new cases are being reported, most of them from 2 large outbreaks in New York. Hillary Lane has more on what doctors are doing to try to stop the spread of the virus.
The disease starts in the early
Pediatrician Dr. Jeffrey Avner is on the front lines of a measles outbreak that's showing no signs of slowing down.
When you see a disease that is preventable with vaccination, it is somewhat disheartening.
Maimonides Medical Center in Brooklyn has treated 9 cases of measles so far, including an adult and a child who ended up in the intensive care unit.
Parents don't really understand the risks of measles because they haven't seen measles, because it has become such a rare disease. But measles does have very serious complications. 1 in 20 children with measles get pneumonia, which, by the way, is the most common cause of death.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is now reporting 626 cases of the highly contagious virus in 22 states, the second highest number of cases reported since measles was declared eliminated in 2000. Most of the New York cases have occurred in unvaccinated people in Orthodox Jewish communities. Doctors across the country are also fighting against an anti-vaccine movement among some parents.
They're getting information from sources that are incorrect, that are trying to sell them on ideas and studies that were fraudulent and debunked.
Dr. Avner says if people stay unvaccinated, the measles could continue to spread. Hillary Lane, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
And some experts are concerned with Passover this week. There will be an increase in measles cases after the holiday in the coming weeks.
That's scary.
It is.
Get vaccinated. Well, still to come before we go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs.
When we come back, Mark and Harvey take the 2019 Jeep Wrangler Sahara Edition for a spin. This is my son's dream car.
And you like that color.
I like that color. I'm anxious to hear what you guys think of it. That's coming up next at 4.
We have delays on the Beltline right now. This is looking at traffic right at the Beltline and Park Street. Looks normal around Park Street, but the closer you get, or a little further east you get on the eastbound side, actually, there's some pretty major delays for us. The left lane is blocked on the eastbound side, so traffic's been reduced down to just a few lanes on the eastbound side again. But even the westbound side leading up to that accident, seeing some delays as well. So plan on a little longer than usual if you do have to hop on the Beltline. Probably an extra 5 to 10 minutes for your commute. Downtown Middleton, seeing a few brake lights, but no major delays in the Middleton area. And then, of course, on the Isthmus, traffic seems to be moving, just of course, a little slowly. Mount Horeb and Verona look okay. Verona, we're seeing a few stops the closer you get to downtown, and near Janesville, a few stops closer to downtown, but no major accidents in the Janesville area. 27 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 minutes from Sauk City to Middleton, and from Sun Prairie to downtown. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. And now for the three little words that all but guarantee a great story. A Florida man. A Florida man was arrested after he was caught impersonating a police officer. But that's not even the most Florida-y part. He was driving a fake police vehicle with a light bar on top and was carrying a realistic-looking airsoft pistol when he pulled over a driver in Hillsborough County. Need more floridity? Well, the person he pulled over was a real undercover cop. The guy's now facing charges of impersonating an officer.
Floridity. Did we just create a word there?
That is a new word.
The iconic Jeep Wrangler has historically appealed to drivers who love to wander off the beaten path or those who want to really look the part.
But it's also been unappealing to drivers wanting refinement and a smooth, quiet ride. The 2019 version of the Wrangler tries to do both, and guess what? It does. Let's check it out as we go behind the wheel of the 2019 Jeep Wrangler Sahara Edition with Harvey Briggs. Now, if you're going to cruise down the road, you need some good tunes. Got a good radio?
You know, it's got a surprisingly good radio in it.
You know, there's something about being in a Jeep Wrangler.
That's it. It takes you back. You know, it's such an iconic car. It's been around forever. The original SUV. Heck, it helped us win World War II. This is the four-door Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. All four-door Jeeps are unlimited. I guess two-door Jeeps are limited.
They're limited to two doors, apparently.
Exactly.
And our ocean blue metallic Wrangler Sahara stays true to its history, sort of. But you don't want to mess with this.
No, this look here is iconic. The number of bars and spaces, the round headlights, even though, you know, they're now LED and all that good stuff, it's still the same basic shape that they've had since it was a Willys Jeep in World War II.
But 75 years later, this Jeep is a thoroughly modern Willys. Our model has the optional 270 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with an electric motor generator attached to it.
It also adds a ton of torque to this motor. So this 4-cylinder engine makes more torque than the V6 that is standard in this car.
Thoroughly modern, outside and in.
We've got leather heated seats, heated steering wheel. You have 8.4-inch touchscreen with all kinds of great apps in it, especially if you're going to do any off-roading. It's got all the information you need in terms of vehicle angle and your temperature gauges and all that good stuff. You have adaptive cruise control. You've got forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking. You've got blind spot warning. All, you know, so this is a modern Jeep.
Should a Jeep have leather seats?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to answer that with an emphatic yes.
So it's not the most comfortable of rides?
No, it's a Jeep after all. It's designed to go off-roads. But this is the Sahara version, and that's made to be a little more on-road friendly than a Rubicon, say.
So this could be your daily driver?
Oh yeah, a lot of people drive these daily. We've got 240,000 of these were sold last year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Between the two-door and the four-door, people love Jeeps. This isn't, you know, a luxury SUV.
It doesn't pretend to be.
No, this is a Jeep, and it's gonna be noisy, it's gonna ride a little more firmly, but it's gonna do anything, it's gonna do more than any other SUV can do in this class.
And speaking of class, our test model, fully loaded, stickers at $52,210. That puts it in the Lexus GX and Land Rover Discovery class. As for Harvey, a true Jeep lover, well, he'd go in a different direction.
I mean, for me, would I buy it? No, I'd get a two-door Jeep with cloth seats and as little as possible in a manual transmission, but I'm weird.
Weird in a good way.
Yeah, you looked the part. Both of you did. You look cool in that.
There you go. It's hard to look bad in a Jeep, I think.
And mileage?
Mileage on the Jeep is not great. It is in that,
you were getting 20.
Yeah, 20 for the week that I had it. So it's not anything to write home about. But again, with that 4-cylinder engine and that e-torque helping along, it gets a lot better than they used to, that's for sure.
So you'd recommend the upgraded engine?
Oh yeah, that 2-liter engine is really good, really strong, more power, more fuel economy, You know, and it's only a $1,000 upgrade.
Very luxurious inside, too.
Yeah, and when you get it with the hard top as opposed to the soft top, it's a lot quieter. So you really could make that more of an everyday. With the soft top, you do have more wind noise and a little more road noise coming through.
But it's too bad it wasn't a nice day. We could have taken the top. The doors come off?
All 4 doors come off.
That
The
would have
top
been
comes
fun.
all the way off. We could have had a real open air experience. You can even fold the front windshield down.
Oh, wow.
So you can have the whole thing.
Bugs in the teeth?
Exactly.
$28,000 you can start out.
Yeah, you start at a Jeep in the high 20s. You can go in the 4-door into the low 30s, and then you start adding and moving up beyond that. But every Jeep Wrangler is trail rated, so it does have all that capability that you want from a Wrangler when you buy it, whether you use it or not.
So there you go. Stamp of approval for Matthew.
Yeah, but not the one we saw, the
No.
one he wanted, the two with the cloth
with the cloth seats and the menu. There
yeah,
you
that's
go.
the one.
Okay, ridesanddrives.com for more on this. And Harvey, we'll see you next time.
That's right. We'll
Thanks,
be back.
Harvey.
All right.
Thank you,
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up. Dana's here keeping an eye on the radar.
We are. So right now we actually have a pretty strong storm starting to move into the northwest corner of Iowa County. Also seeing some stronger storms in Grant County right now. No severe weather for us currently, but as you can see, that heavy rainfall just west of Platteville near North Lancaster outside of Lone Rock. We're also seeing some heavier rainfall. If I turn on my lightning indicator, we do have a little lightning in there as well. So if you're getting ready to step out the door, just understand that you may be dealing with a longer commute, especially in that area of town. And later this evening, certainly keep an eye to the sky as these storms will continue to move in for us over the next few hours.
All right. Keep an eye on things. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Tomorrow here on Live at 4, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Cummings. The
Briggs
of Briggs,
Show.
yes. She'll be taking your plant and garden questions.
And Consumer Reports has some tricks of the trade-in, how to get the most money when you sell your car. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
Get
In today's Final Touch, when you're surrounded by water, the location of your Easter egg hunt becomes a little obvious.
We take you to Easter Sunday in Key Largo, Florida. An underwater Easter egg hunt staged in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary attracted dozens of undersea egg explorers.